about 6 years now, I've been a bowler. I don't really get too many chances to hit the lanes, but something I always enjoy doing is sharing what got me into the sport of bowling in the first place. This is my story. Like any good story, we gotta start at the beginning. My freshman year of high school. I was hot off quitting track and field and in need of a new extracurricular to keep me busy. Thing is, I really needed something to be part of. Track didn't get me many places, considering I showed next to no significant improvement across the 2 years I spent doing it in middle school. Not to mention the part where most of the guys on the team were kinda jerks too. I was in serious need of some good luck. Going into high school, I was hoping things were gonna begin to get better for me socially. Maybe I'd find some extracurricular that I actually would thrive in. I started looking at sports and clubs that the school offered. Lo and behold, Twinsburg had a bowling team. Bowling's always been a part of my family. My Uncle Ken regularly played in leagues when he was younger, and heck, when he found out I had an interest in bowling, he went out of his way to give me some of his old equipment to use for myself. Thus began the best 4 years of my life. By junior year, I had officially moved up to varsity. Ended my senior year satisfied with how far I'd come since I first started with the team. There's a place that holds a significant value to the story though. Here we are, Roseland Lanes. This is where it all began for me. I'd come here a few times when I was younger, but this is the place where my life would change for the better. From what I could tell, Roseland has been working with Twinsburg bowling team for many years at this point. It was this very bowling alley where I attended team tryouts. I was still hesitant at the time, but after it ended and I was about to leave, the coach asked if I was still interested. When I said yes, he told me that I had made it on the team. After making the team, the rest was history. I spent my freshman and sophomore years on the junior varsity team. I definitely had room to improve considering it was my first time actually bowling in a competitive space. Freshman year was where I learned the fundamentals. How to properly hold the ball, counting boards and learning lane placement, that sort of stuff. Managed to work up to scoring upward of 90 to 100 pins on my best days. By sophomore year, I had shown considerable improvement. I had a better understanding of how the sport worked, and even got my average up considerably. I was still on the JV squad, but something told me that would soon change. Enter junior year, the year before the pandemic hit. I finally made it to varsity, which meant tournaments, a letterman, and not being stuck with the guys who weren't quite as skilled on the lanes as others. Come the end of junior year, we figured out that some aspects of my approach to the lane were the result of the shoes my uncle gave me being set for right-handed bowlers. So we got me a new pair of shoes that are better suited for me. Things were really looking up. Then early 2020 came around. COVID kind of led to a shift in things in my senior year. Luckily, the changes mostly had to do with buses and how things would run on the lanes. Once 2021 came around, my time with the team was at an end. It was a hell of a run. Graduation time arrived, and my fellow graduating teammates were given signed pins and personalized blankets as mementos to our time with the team. That might be the end of my story for competitive bowling, but I still found time to make use of my skills recreationally once I made it to college. I haven't gone very often, but each time I have, my skills are just as sharp as they were by the time I had left high school. In a funny twist of fate, college was where I found myself making a new friend who happened to be someone I unknowingly crossed paths with in my time bowling for Twinsburg High School. Will Bender bowled for Stowe Monroe Falls High School's team for the same amount of time I bowled for Twinsburg. The only difference was that he was not only a more experienced bowler than me, but he was also a few grades ahead of me as well. It's funny how two people who hardly interacted in the past wind up meeting again and become such good friends through working the same job. Sometimes fate has ways of bringing the right people into the lives of others. These days I still do bowling recreationally. I haven't had too many opportunities to do it, but my love for it is still there, and everything I learned in high school will remain with me for quite a long time. In some ways, I'm glad track and field never panned out. Otherwise, I wouldn't have found myself engaging with bowling the way that I have. All it took was one gutter ball of an extracurricular to show me that all I needed was to find my footing, center myself, and hit a strike.